Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, there were two best friends named Naomi and Ruth. Their bond was unbreakable, forged through years of shared experiences and mutual respect. They lived in a land far, far away, where the sun always seemed to shine a little brighter, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers. This land was their sanctuary, a place where they could be themselves without any worries.
Naomi was a kind woman with a loving heart. She was known throughout the village for her generosity and her ability to make everyone feel at home. Her smile could light up the darkest of days, and her wisdom was sought by many.
Ruth was a good friend, always there to help. She had a spirit that was both gentle and strong, and she never hesitated to lend a hand to those in need. Her loyalty to Naomi was unwavering, and she often went out of her way to ensure Naomi's happiness.
Naomi had two sons, and Ruth married one of them. Their union was a joyous occasion, celebrated by the entire village. Ruth and Naomi's bond grew even stronger as they became family, sharing not just friendship, but also the joys and challenges of life. They were a happy family. They laughed together, sharing stories and dreams under the starlit sky. They cried together, offering comfort and solace during times of sorrow. Their home was filled with love, laughter, and the warmth of togetherness. And they always looked after one another. Life was good, and their friendship grew stronger every day. They supported each other through thick and thin, celebrating successes and overcoming obstacles as a united front. Their acts of kindness were countless, and their love for each other was evident in every gesture. They were like sisters, closer than even real sisters sometimes are. Their bond was a testament to the power of true friendship, a connection that transcended blood and time. They shared secrets, dreams and hopes, knowing that they could always rely on each other. Their story is a beautiful reminder that friendship, when nurtured with love and care, can become one of the most precious treasures in life. One day, sadness came to Naomi's house. First, Naomi's husband died. This made Naomi and her sons very sad. Then something even sadder happened. Both of Naomi's sons died too.
Naomi was heartbroken. She missed her husband and sons very much. She felt so alone. "Nothing good can ever happen now," she said.
Ruth was also very sad. She missed her husband very much, but she knew she had to be strong for Naomi. Naomi decided to go back to her hometown, Bethlehem. She had heard that the Lord had blessed the land with food again, and she longed to return to the place she once called home. The journey was not an easy one. It was filled with uncertainties and challenges. Naomi knew that she had to make this journey, but she was concerned about Ruth. It was a long journey, and Naomi told Ruth to stay behind. Naomi felt that Ruth would be better off staying in Moab, where she could find a new husband and start a new life. She didn't want Ruth to face the hardships that lay ahead.
"Go back to your own family," Naomi said. "You have been so kind to me and my sons, but now you must think of your own future. You are still young, and you have a chance to rebuild your life here. We will always be friends." Naomi's voice was filled with emotion as she spoke these words. She knew that saying goodbye to Ruth would be one of the hardest things she had ever done.
But Ruth loved Naomi very much and didn't want her to be alone. Ruth had grown to see Naomi as more than just a mother-in-law. She was a true friend and a guiding light in her life. Ruth couldn't bear the thought of Naomi facing the journey alone. She wanted to take care of Naomi. Ruth felt a deep sense of duty and love towards Naomi. She knew that their bond was special and that she couldn't just walk away from it.
Ruth held Naomi's hand and said, "Where you go, I will go." Ruth's words were filled with determination and love. She wanted Naomi to know that she was committed to staying by her side no matter what. Where you stay, I will stay. Ruth's promise was not just about the journey, it was about sharing life together, through all its ups and downs. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. Ruth was willing to leave behind everything she knew to embrace Naomi's world. She was ready to adopt Naomi's culture, her people, and her faith. This is one of the most famous promises in the Bible. Ruth's vow is celebrated for its profound loyalty and love. It is a testament to the strength of their bond and the power of commitment.
So Ruth and Naomi set off on a long journey to Bethlehem. It was a hard journey, and they were very tired when they finally arrived. Bethlehem was a busy town with lots of people. Even though it was Naomi's hometown, everything felt different now. Ruth knew that they would have to work hard to make a new life for themselves, but she was determined to help Naomi. She knew that God would be with them. Food was scarce, and Ruth and Naomi needed to eat. Every day, Ruth went out to the fields to gather leftover grain.
It was hard work, but I didn't complain. I was grateful for anything I could find to help feed myself and Naomi.
She was a kind and caring person. Ruth's heart was full of love for Naomi, and she knew that God was watching over them. One day, Ruth was working in the field of a kind man named Boaz. Boaz was a relative of Naomi's late husband. He was a good man who believed in God.
Who is that young woman working so diligently in the field?
Boaz noticed Ruth working hard in the field and asked his workers about her.
That's Ruth, isn't it?
That's Ruth, they said. She's a kind woman who is very loyal to her mother-in-law, Naomi. Boaz was touched by Ruth's kindness and loyalty to Naomi. He wanted to help them.
So Ruth, stay in my fields and gather grain. I've even told my workers to drop extra grain for you.
Ruth was so grateful for Boaz's kindness, she ran home to tell Naomi everything.
Naomi, you won't believe it. Boaz has been so kind to us.
Naomi was overjoyed.
The Lord has been kind to us. God is watching over us and sending help our way.
Boaz continued to show kindness to Ruth and Naomi. He was a good man who believed in helping others. He saw how much Ruth loved Naomi and how hard she worked to take care of her. Boaz and Ruth started to fall in love. He loved her kind heart and her loyalty.
Ruth, you have such a kind heart. Your loyalty is truly inspiring.
Ruth was so happy to have found such a kind and loving man.
I am so blessed to have Boaz in my life.
Finally, Boaz and Ruth were married. Everyone was thrilled for them. The wedding was a beautiful event, filled with love and joy. Friends and family gathered from near and far to witness the union of two wonderful people. The ceremony was held in a picturesque setting, with flowers adorning every corner and the sun shining brightly. Boaz looked dashing in his attire, and Ruth was a vision of beauty in her wedding dress. Their vows were heartfelt, and there wasn't a dry eye in the crowd. It was a joyous celebration, and everyone danced and sang. The reception was a lively affair, with music filling the air and laughter echoing all around. Guests enjoyed a sumptuous feast, with tables laden with delicious food and drink. The dance floor was never empty, as everyone joined in the merriment. Children played, adults chatted, and the newlyweds shared their first dance as a married couple. It was a night to remember, a perfect start to their new life together.
Boaz, you are a true blessing to Ruth and me. Your kindness and generosity have touched our hearts deeply. We are so grateful for everything you have done for us. You have not only provided for us, but have also shown us what true love and compassion look like. Your actions have brought so much happiness into our lives, and we cannot thank you enough.
Boaz provided for them and gave them a happy home. They were a true family. Their home was filled with warmth and love, a place where everyone felt safe and cherished. Boaz worked hard to ensure that Ruth and Naomi had everything they needed. He was a devoted husband and a caring son-in-law, always putting his family's needs first. Their days were filled with simple joys, and their nights were peaceful and content. Soon Ruth and Boaz had a baby boy. They named him Obed. Naomi was so happy to be a grandma. The arrival of Obed brought even more joy into their lives. He was a bundle of joy, with a smile that could light up the room. Ruth and Boaz were over the moon with their new addition, and Naomi couldn't have been prouder. She doted on her grandson, showering him with love and affection.
I love little Obed so much. I will help you take care of him, Ruth. You have given me the greatest gift by making me a grandmother. I promise to be there for you and Obed, to support you in any way I can. Watching him grow and being a part of his life is a blessing I cherish every day.
Naomi loved little Obed very much and helped Ruth to take care of him. She was always there, offering a helping hand and a loving heart. Together, they created a nurturing environment for Obed to grow up in. Their family bond grew stronger with each passing day, and their home was filled with laughter and love. It was truly a happy ending for Boaz, Ruth and Naomi as they embraced the future with hope and joy. Ruth's story reminds us that even when times are tough, love and kindness can help us through. Ruth's loyalty to Naomi teaches us about true friendship and devotion. God was always with Ruth and Naomi, and he helped them through their difficult times. Ruth's story is a beautiful reminder that God is always with us, no matter what happens.